Welcome to Summit League Spotlight Saturday preview, or I guess it's weekend preview because we do have a Sunday game. I'm Keenan Dixon, he's Darren Wallace, and let's dive into it. I mean, we have 7 games on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. That one on Sunday is going to be a nationally televised game that has first place implications on the women's side between South Dakota State and ORU. Let's start with the men. Omaha at Denver. Preview of a great matchup. These Pioneers are the 14th best scoring offense in the country, but they do struggle defensively. Frankie Fiddler could expose this team, and a couple weeks ago, this was a first-place game.
Yeah, I mean, Omaha has to be a little frustrated with how the previous week went for them, and Thursday is going to be a big test for them to get right. But this game right here is another one where Denver's one of those teams that looks like one of the better teams on the men's side. Dropped a tough one to UND on Saturday, but nonetheless, they're much better at home. So Omaha's going to have a lot of questions to answer and say, hey, last week that was a fluke. That's not who we are. We can really hang with these teams, so it'll be a big one for them.
USD at Kansas City on Saturday. Matchup of 2 teams that last week got wins against some of the top teams in the league. What do you kind of expect from this one?
I expect that this one should be, again, every game that KC plays on the men's side, it's nitty-gritty. It hasn't been ugly. There's been no runaway wins or losses, really. Every game's been tough. USD, they're soul-searching, kind of. They're looking to, they got a signature win, but then after that, they lost to their rivals. So USD is a team that's soul-searching. KC is a team that's trying to show, hey, we can hang with the big boys, too. We've got a whole different team. We can compete. So it's 2 teams that are really just searching for answers. I think playing each other will give them some answers to those questions. South
Dakota State at Oral Roberts a year ago. This was a matchup that opened league play pre-Christmas at the time. And South Dakota State got blown out of Tulsa. This should be a good matchup between Isaac McBride and Zeke Mayo, 2 of the best guards in the league.
Yeah, they'll be looking for some revenge, per se. I mean, after how ORU did them dirty in Tulsa. But I think this team has so many players from that squad that remember how they felt after that game. I would expect, and I'm not saying that Hendo wants to run it up or the players want to run it up, but I think the players, they took that one personally, and they're going to try to do whatever it takes. They're trying to hang 100 on ORU. But like we said in our show earlier in the week, don't count on ORU yet. They have a ton of talent. I expect them to, at some point, get right.
Yeah, it's a dangerous team. North Dakota at St. Thomas. North Dakota feels like a dangerous team. BJ Omot has been playing really well. Trayson Eaglestaff. They've got some other guys in that roster that have really stepped up.
Yeah, they've been playing well, but the thing is, though, they've been playing well at home. Can you win on the road? That's always the mark of a good team. A good team in any sport, it's I can beat you anywhere, not just when I'm at the crib and I'm comfortable.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. So for UND, not to say that I'm not doubting them, but it's can you go on the road and beat a good team? So I would expect that this will be one that they want to win and prove, hey, we're not just good at the Betty, we're good wherever we play.
On the other side, the women's side, St. Thomas goes to the Betty, where Casey Borovich, preseason player of the year, will welcome them in, and she can score a ton in bunches.
Hey, but don't sleep on the rest of that squad, though. This is a UND team that they're starting to find a rhythm. They're starting to get right. I checked the halftime score against Denver, and they were trailing. Still found a way to pull off the win. This UND team, they're starting to find their roles and hit their stride. And when you have a player like Casey Borovich who can be a lead on any given night, that's when a team gets really dangerous. So I would expect UND to take care of business.
Kansas City at South Dakota. Dominique Phillips has stepped up in a big way. The transfer senior who's really settled into this offense, and it'll be her against Grace Larkins.
Yeah, I think Dominique has answered a lot of questions about how was she going to adjust to Summit League play, because it is a bit of an interesting league, just the style and everything. But this KC team, after that magical run a year ago, I think for Deanna Jackson-Durrett, it was how do you respond to that? How do you come back the next year? I think they've struggled a little bit out the gate, but I think they're finding something with Dominique kind of leading the way. So I would expect that one to be a tough game, a close game. Neither team winning by more than 7 or 8 points.
Denver at Omaha, 2 teams going in the same direction, and it's not the good direction. They're both trying to find a win.
Yeah, they're both struggling, and it's tough, and you never want to see teams in those situations. You want to see everybody be competitive. I'm not going to throw anybody a pity party per se, but I think that, at some point, if you're Omaha, you got to find a way to get that win, no matter who it's against, whether it be Denver, who's kind of right near you in terms of being in the bottom of the standings, or whether it be maybe you find a way to pull off a win against, NSDSU or an ORU. You got to find a way to win a game in the conference and let everybody know, hey, come March, we're not just going to be a slouch. And they made the championship a year ago. They got to get right sometime.
Oral Roberts at South Dakota State, standalone game on Sunday on CBS Sports Network. Yeah, get your popcorn because it's going to be a ton of fun. Could have first place implications.
Yeah, and I might go out on a limb here, and I think I'm gonna say that I think ORU can actually get the job done and pull off what most people would say is an upset. And that's not to say that SDSU can't hang. They're a really good team, but I'd be worried if I was SDSU because this is a team in ORU. They can win with their offense. They can win with their pressure defense. And it seems like no matter what, if one of their starters is having an off night, one of the others picks them up. So whether between Emily Robinson and Ruthie Udomo, Hannah Cooper, Talia Jones, all four of them have the capability of going off on any given night to a degree that I don't think SDSU's quite seen yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up. I'm really excited nonetheless.
And this is the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. The top offense in the league and the top 20 offense in the country in ORU against the top defense in the league and one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah, no team in the Summit scored more than 55 against these guys. AJ can coach some defense, man. So yeah, and if you see this, AJ, I'm not doubting you. I'm just rooting for chaos. Okay, I'm rooting for chaos.
It's going to be fun, and this could be a title preview. Again, it's early. We're not making predictions yet, but yeah, that's a Saturday slate and Sunday, of course, with that national game on CBS Sports Network. 14 games this weekend here on Summit League Network, and 7 on Saturday. We'll see you next week for the full edition of Summit League Spotlight right here on Summit League Network on Wednesday night.